Kubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Myntri Rangbah ke Jylla Konrad ke sangma hene kasngi ulakren bat kinong tho kubor Halor bon kiman Kiba Ïadei ber ke Jingkren kabaki pat ba kia kendu la kadai Halor ki lenti ki singkien ke Jingkren no jong ko Kongres ba ke NPP ke klem yo jingbet banchina yo ko office tray kam jong ka Habiba road ke Jingkhang ti siam bat kiwe tungine ngap ya ke Jingkren jong Myntri Rangbah Halor kini kiman bat kumno ke Sorkar kala shemi ki lat ki lenti.
It's already been responded back. I think the youth front of the NPP has already replied to it. But the bottom line of the entire thing is that these are all false allegations and all the necessary permissions have been obtained and all the necessary provisions were complied with. So therefore, these allegations are completely baseless, and also another effort by the opposition to try and just create issues when there are none issues like that. I don't have all the details with me, and as I said, the youth has already clarified, and if anything more needs to be done, the youth will clarify. But we had received the provisional building permission sanction, which permits us to start construction on the 22nd of December 2020. You see, the road construction and is an ongoing process, and therefore, as per the different funds availability and schemes that we can get from central government and different financing that we can organize, we continue to increase and improve the road connectivity in all locations, not just these other locations. So definitely, if if the funds availability and all the project, the finance availability and schemes are there, we will definitely look into it, and we will try our best to address those concerns and those issues that you just mentioned to me. On all kind of movements, I've been very clear. All kind of movements that take place, we've ensured that all documentation and paperwork is there. If there are any cases, any allegations that are there, any kind of concerns from any government, if there is a communication being made to us officially that these kind of things are happening, then definitely we will get it into examined. But I'm just hearing it from press and from all of you regarding this. So these are allegations which could just come out, and it's really something I cannot respond to without really seeing the facts. And as I said, the government of Assam also has not communicated anything to us in that aspect. And more importantly, as I said, we have always maintained that every movement or anything that moves forward, we ensure that all paperwork is in place. I mean, I could make a statement tomorrow, or maybe somebody from some other place could make a statement tomorrow that that there was illegal movement that was taking place, and one press reporter named Jose was also involved in it, and he's very close to them, and has been moving around and has been seen sitting with them and photographed with them. I don't know what you would respond to that. So it's same as that. So that's how I would like to say that there could be allegations, there could be people who would make statements, but that's the nature of things. People will allegate and make statements and all. And if there are any concerns, definitely we'll look into those matters.
What about a probe into the matter?
Sorry?
What about a probe?
I think based on allegations coming in, if you have to probe everything in every aspect, there has to be some basis of the probe or anything like that to be done. So, as I said, that we are looking into all aspects, and we're ensuring that whenever information comes to us, we take necessary action. We ask the police department, we ask the administration to take necessary action. So this is a continuous process that we are doing, and we'll continue to do that. A month to 45 days.
Is this a way to phase out the old vehicles?
That I don't, I mean, that's not really specifically our purpose. Our purpose is to fill in the gap of the deficiency in the transport system that we may have, increase opportunities for tourist operators and drivers and entrepreneurs who would like to come into this, provide jobs for our youth, and overall increase the overall quality of experience for the tourist. Similarly, even the transport system, we realize that transport is a major hurdle when it comes to transportation of the agriculture products to the market areas. So if the entrepreneurs can be there as the transporters in between, you're creating another economic opportunity for the people who will transport it. And more importantly, you'll give the service and provide the service at a fixed cost, which of course will be determined at a later stage. But at least the opportunity will be there for the farmers then to transport their product, and the difficulty that farmers normally face finding linkage to the end market, at least this will be a step towards finding a solution to that. So that's really what the objective is, but I mean, other effects may be there, but that's not what we are targeting. We are looking at the primary aspect of transport. The temporary provision, or the provisional building permission that was given, based on that we are allowed to start. Once the designs were seen, the department had asked for clarification from the party, and hence the clarification was submitted. After that, there was no communication from the department. I said, allegations can be there, and every individual has their right to say what they feel like saying. So I have nothing to say about or respond to all the different allegations. Otherwise, to be very frank, I won't be able to work. I'll be just sitting and replying back to allegations. So people have the right. I have no response in that. In terms of BJP, if individual members of BJP are saying it, well, it's up to the BJP party to take necessary action against their members and whatever steps that they want to take. I have nothing to say in that. But as I said, from the party side, means the BJP side, they have extended their support to us, and it is the central leadership that has taken the decision. So if the central leadership accordingly gives me the direction, in the sense that they say that we want to do this, we want to do that, then it's a different story. But I think individuals making allegations and complaining is something that it's their wish, and I have no comments about that. I have already mentioned that number one, this project was a highly technical project, and a project of this nature has never been done in the whole of Northeast. In fact, in the entire eastern region, maybe I think the Victoria building in Kolkata is the only one that might have the dome. But as per my knowledge, I think nowhere in the eastern region this kind of a project has been tried out. So it was and is a very highly technical and a very complicated project, both from design and from engineering and from construction point of view. That's number one. Number two, regarding the entire question of free and fair inquiry that is being mentioned out here, a third party agency has been brought in, and I think that in itself is an indication that it's completely disconnected. And this is an institution, and it's not that we have directly selected any institute. We have written to 4 institutes, and one has replied back saying that they are not free, and we have just received information. I can share with you that we have just received information from IIT Guwahati that they have said that they will be able to come into the third party inspection. We expect them to come in the next couple of days, and the inspection will be done, complete study will be done. It will be completely independent in nature, independent from both the stakeholders, the designers and the contractors, and also from the government. Third thing is, I think the allegations and the demands that Congress may make, well, that's the nature of politics, and that's the nature of things. They will make those demands, but as I said, from our side, we have maintained that quality was fully maintained. This was a 4 lakh kg, that means 4,500 metric ton dome structure. So the weight of the dome alone is 4,500 metric tons. It's not a very light structure. So you can well imagine what architectural as well as engineering and contractual skills will be required to make this, move this forward. So it was not easy, not challenging, very challenging. But as I said, things happen. Let the inquiry come out. We'll come up with a real picture of what's happening. I think it will be premature to jump to any conclusion and say that it is because of the PWD minister that this happened. So let the inquiry come out, and then we'll take a decision. I don't know why you're asking this question, but we have already moved that. Already the proposal is moved to amend it. It will be placed in the cabinet next. Yeah.
So what we are given to understand?
Only sand, right?
To sandstone and even limestone?
No, limestone cannot. You have to understand the law. That's why, because you'll misquote me then. Only sand only. Limestone is a different subject. I don't want to go into detail about that, but you can find out later. Limestone is a different issue, because limestone comes under the MMDR Act, and as per the usage of the limestone, it depends on which area, which use you will put it to. That defines whether it's a minor or major. If it falls under major, then you have to take permissions from Government of India. If it's minor, then you take it from the triple MCR, and the state legislation comes in. So it's a bit complicated, so I won't get into that. But this amendment which you're mentioning is for sand. As I said, again, this is a technical matter. Not be able to give you exact reply on this. I think either the chairman of the high-powered committee or the PWD minister will be able to give you more specific details on this, because, as I said, these are highly technical points you're mentioning. But I think there were two aspects to it. Number one, that the manner in which the selection for, or the criteria that was set for the qualification, was that you have to do similar works in terms of government buildings like circuit house, court buildings, assembly buildings. So that was mentioned. So I guess the concerned party at the time did not have, or had not constructed government buildings of that nature. The second point is that when the what is the agency called who got the work? No, what's it, UP? What? UPRL. So when UPRLL got the work, the terms and conditions there mentioned clearly that they can give certain part, I don't remember which part and which percentage was there, to subcontract to agencies. So that's it. But I don't have the full details with me, but that's somewhere like as far as I remember, the discussions we had that day. No, you see, the first part is that the appointment of the design associates was done by the previous government. So that's something that I don't want to comment on. That was done much before we came in. And that's there. So there was some mention about design associates having some kind of a allegation from CBI and some inquiry going on. So that factor, I think you'll have to ask the opposition leader on what those details were and why the appointment was done even that time when they appointed the design associates. So that's number one. Because they mentioned that there's allegation against design associates, why did this government, the MDA government, appoint them? So I want to clarify that it was not the MDA government that appointed the design associates. Design associates was appointed by the previous government. Second, which I think is a general statement which I've been making all this time, that there are allegations and there are inquiries that could be happening. But we're very clear, till conviction doesn't take place, you cannot say, or you cannot point, or you cannot be, you cannot deny anybody based on an allegation to participate or to work. So therefore, as I said, inquiries will happen, but until unless a conviction takes place, I think it's unfair to simply judge somebody on the basis of an allegation or an inquiry that's taking place. Yeah, so basically there was some areas that needed more clarity in the law, and that's why, as I said, we have already moved the cabinet memo in terms of the sand. So sand issue, we are hopeful should be resolved very soon. Second is that regarding the stone quarry and all, there are different processes that one has to follow. And in that, there's no real amendment that needs to be done because it is allowed. But there are processes that need to be followed. There are about 5, 6, 7 agencies from which you have to get NOCs, registration, whether it's the PWD or whether it's the mining department, the forest department, then the pollution board, and so on and so forth. So the process may need to be looked into and we may need to streamline it. But since it is a matter that relates a lot with environment, it's not very simple for us to cut the processes, because then there's a chance that tomorrow somebody might file a legal case against that. So therefore we have to be careful that while we try to ease the process, we also need to go by the mandate of the law. So we are working on that procedure. But at the same time, we have also introduced some areas of concerns where we have tried to balance out between our tourism aspect and also the stone quarrying, because we're seeing that a lot of the stone quarrying takes place on the main road. And it does become an eyesore for the tourist when they travel to, say, Sora and other places. So to ensure that we can avoid those areas, we looked at how we could protect at least certain 100-200 meters of the roadside, and those areas of course have caused a bit of concern and from the miners and the things. So we are working on that, trying to sort it out, because as I said, we are trying to see the holistic approach to the economy, where we need to not just see the mining part and the construction, but we need to also balance between the environment aspects and also see the impact one has on tourism, because as I said, once you have a lot of the quarries on the roadside, it does become an eyesore for the tourists. So we're looking at all those aspects also while we move forward. Aspects that we have complied to, and some that we have not. We are working on it, I should say. It's not that we don't want to, but we're working on it. Things like setting up of different technology aspects and all these things. So all of them are under process. We have taken note of what the issues that have been raised, and the departments have been asked to ensure that everything that has been mentioned in that, speedy action should be taken in regards to that, and compliance should be done at the earliest. That whatever the law mandates and whatever is allowed, and that means from the central as well as state, will be allowed, and those that are not mandated and not allowed will not be allowed. So simple as that. Well, it's a complicated situation. There's no doubt. What you mentioned is not something that I think we can simply resolve it. So we will see how to move forward in this. Number one, we hope that we will see some solution to the Ukraine war itself, and then maybe our students can go back. If the complication continues, we'll have to engage with Government of India and try to find a solution on how we could find options for these students. And third, yes, we don't have medical colleges, but we are working now on a very fast pace to find solutions, because we had a lot of complication with the Shillong as well as the Tura Medical College. I recently had a review also on that. So we will look at all the options, and I am concerned about the career and the future of these students. And let me assure you, we will do our best to engage with Government of India and even maybe Government of Ukraine through the MEA and Government of India to see what options we can have for these students who are now facing the brunt of the war that's taking place. I would not be able to respond exactly to your question, because I'll have to go through the provisions of the law. But all I can tell you is that whatever the law mandates, we will do that, and whatever the law does not mandate, we will not do that. And obviously we will not allow any kind of additional activities to go on if that is the case. But whether it is allowed or not, whether the chicken also has to be weighed or not, that I think it will be difficult for me to respond right now, because it doesn't look like it, but we'll have to still examine that matter. But what I'm saying is, whatever the mandate of the law is, whatever the provisions are there in the law, that is what we will look into. And if there's any concerns, I'll definitely get it examined. Oh, Harijan, there's so many high-level committees and so many committees and commissions. Okay, I don't have the exact update with me right now, because as I said, the Deputy Chief Minister is handling it directly. So I would refrain from replying to that. He would have the updates. He is in tour on Garo Hills right now, reviewing different projects in Garo Hills. So we'll be back on Sunday or Monday, so you can ask him for more details. The reason I'm not replying to that is because whatever information I have may be backdated or old. He will have the latest information. We have already, and I have already written to Government of India and to the Honorable Prime Minister on this, but we have not got any response yet. But I'm continuously following up with Government of India on this matter. Thank you.